Hello, everyone. I hope your new year has been so far has been pretty good, and pretty good is the word. Is the two words I think we can best formulate the beginning of this new year. Uh, think of it with all the uncertainties surrounding what is shaping up to be a very rocky year. But of course, we can survive. We've done it before, and we will ultimately come away with whatever obstacle that might come across our path as we continue to move forward in life and as we continue to make our lives better. Um, I know many of you have been feeling pretty gloomy. This feeling of gloom is part of human nature when you're navigating into a sea of uncertainty, not going or not knowing exactly what's going to happen the next few days or the next few weeks or the next few years can weigh a lot on a person on the person's positive attitude. But nonetheless, I'm here this morning just to let you know that we all in the same boat. And then life, that's what it is. It's a journey filled with suspense. But remember, if you know where you're going to, as the song, remember the old Diana Ross song, Do You Know Where You're Going To? If you know exactly where you're going to, you keep your eyes on the prize, you have a clear goal, and of course, you must have the path that will lead you to your clear goal. So I'm very optimistic, thinking that these are clouds of uncertainty. When the clouds ultimately fade, brand new days will lie ahead. And speaking of brand new day, I also, as a writer, I have been using spare moment to to come up with the second edition of Midnight at Noon. Uh, this is something I mentioned in a couple of videos past. Ultimately, it's a reality, and this new second edition, what I do, I just pay tribute to many people during the Revolutionary War of Independence of Haiti, who whose name seemed to have been forgotten, and they have played important strategic roles in the and bringing about this glorious moment on January 1st, 1804, when Haiti claimed its independence against French colonial rule. So I pay tribute to all these people, and also I have an author's note explaining the reason why I had to embark upon the second edition. So yeah, it's gonna be sometime. I would say at the end of the month, or if not, early March next month. You can have it. I will have it available for everyone to lay their hands on it. And also, speaking of positive attitude, I also have a very it's a story that I've written a long time ago, and finally, I think it's going to be made available for all my readers to lay their hands on it. Comes this summer. So it's the remember the old title, Lundberg? Okay, finally, Lundberg is coming. Interesting story, but I'm just keeping it under wrap at this moment until the editors, until Everybody clearly tells me that the project is here. So just keeping your fingers crossed now. And of course, speaking of literature, we have several titles. Uh, I don't want to recommend because I have not spoken to the writers. These are independent writers, of which I've had before in a conversation. But I can probably say that Michelle Jackson, a friend of mine, who she's working in a romance novel, and she's told me last week as we had a conversation, I was speaking with a whole bunch of writers in one of her programs. That that particular novel finally will will come our way, and we can't wait to read the story. And that's the way I am. I am very supportive of writers, new or old, independent or traditional. So if the story is good, if it's well written, and I'm for it. And once I'm for it all the way because I love literature. Because everything, every aspect of human life is interpreted through literature. So this is the reason why we have so many genres. You know, some people love dystopian fantasy. Some people love, just like romantic comedies. Some people simply just have a fun for literary fiction. Or me, that's my, and also historical fiction. That's my trademark as a writer. Of course, with very strong immigrant stories, and with it. So to me, literature is important. If I were to put it a place where I am prevented from reading or writing, I would be extremely miserable. So, instead of picking up a phone and gossiping with old friends, I just want to be reclusive and my little reading or writing den, reading, picking up some of the books, some of the old stories that I haven't had a chance to read, and there's so many of them in the bookcase but behind me. So I think the time would be best used if I were to pick one of them and start reading. So that's why I read multiple books at a time. I can read maybe 3 or 4 books at one time. I always have one, on my bedtime table. So that's the one that will put me to sleep. The last chapters, the last couple of paragraphs, that I wanted to finish. And then I would ultimately read that and then go to sleep, waking up in the morning, do some writing or some reading, independent of the mood I am, before I start, I get to work. So that's important for me and my life. And I think it should be good also for you because reading teases the mind. It empowers you as an individual. It makes you feel a better person. So you should read, not just my books, but any book, any genre, your preferred genre, stick to it. But it's going to make your life better. And especially in moment of uncertainties, which is the moment that we're living right now. So, yeah, just to sum it up, this little conversation this morning, remember just to wait for mine for the second edition, which should be here sometime, in the next few weeks. The latest early March next month. And of course, Lundberg will ultimately be with you this summer. It was me, Ardain, and of course, remember if we don't get to talk as we used to converse as we used to, but remember, I'm still here. So let's get the conversation going. Let's get the reading going, and of course, to all my fellow writers out there, let's get the writing going. I love you all. Bisous, bisous.